Is the Pixel 10 really a sneak peek into the future, or just a Pixel 9 in disguise with flashy AI makeup? That's the question shaking the tech world right now. Google wants you to believe this isn't just another smartphone, it's an AI assistant in your pocket, a camera that sees beyond your eyes, and a translator that mimics your voice. Big promises, but is this the real deal, or is Google selling us smoke and mirrors? Because let's face it, being futuristic isn't just about throwing buzzwords at consumers. A phone has to strike a balance between hype and actual performance. And that's where the Pixel 10 sparks debate. Some features truly feel like science fiction you can touch, while others feel more like distractions to hide weak spots in the basics. So are we seeing progress or clever marketing dressed as innovation? At first glance, the bezels are slimmer, the back glass feels smoother, and the metallic G logo shines with a new polish. But truthfully, it looks very familiar, almost like last year's model. And maybe that's the point. Google hasn't gone wild on design this year because they want you to believe the real revolution lives inside the phone. And that inside story is centered around Google's Tensor G5 chip. This time, Google isn't chasing raw horsepower like Apple's A series or Qualcomm's Snapdragon. Instead, it's betting on brains over brawn, AI-driven intelligence instead of brute speed. That's a bold gamble. But here's the big question. Do we really want the smartest phone if it can't also be the fastest? That's where the crowd splits. That's where the debate heats up. Because if your vacation photo of a mountain range is half pixels and half AI imagination, are you saving a memory or fabricating one? Some call it groundbreaking photography. Others say it's no longer photography at all. And that's only one piece of the AI storm Google is unleashing. The next feature takes the knows you better than yourself concept to another level. Meet MagicQ, Google's boldest AI move yet. You're about to reply to a text, but before you even type, your phone suggests something that sounds just like you. Sometimes it's brilliant, sometimes unsettling, but MagicQ doesn't just stop at texts. It scans Gmail, calendar events, even screenshots, anticipating what you'll need before you ask. Is it helpful, or is it crossing into creepy territory? And that's where it gets tricky. If your phone is scripting your replies, setting your reminders, and planning your day before you even think about it, who's really in charge, you or the AI? Convenience is great, but when spontaneity fades away, do we lose something more important? Whether you love it or hate it, Google is definitely pushing smartphones into completely uncharted territory. But let's zoom out, because under all this AI glitter, some cracks appear. The regular Pixel 10 actually ships with a smaller main camera sensor than the Pixel 9. That's shocking, especially when photography has been the Pixel's crown jewel. It feels like Google's saying, don't worry about the hardware, I will patch it later. But here's the problem. Physics doesn't bend, and AI can't cheat light. Less light means more noise, weaker details, and lower raw performance. Sure, AI can sharpen, stretch, and guess, but it can't create true light where there isn't any. That's why many Pixel fans feel confused. Why weaken the very thing that made the Pixel famous? It almost feels like Google is sacrificing camera hardware to test how much AI can truly replace it. Risky, right? Sounds good on paper, but history tells us another story. Tensor chips tend to run hot and throttle under heavy pressure. Push the phone with gaming or long camera use, and suddenly performance dips while the temperature climbs. Deja vu. Definitely. It's like owning a sports car that sprints fast, but overheats too quickly. Sure, everyday users might never notice during casual scrolling or texting. But if you're paying flagship prices, don't you want a phone that performs as consistently as an iPhone or Galaxy? That's the trade-off Pixel users keep facing, and Google hasn't fully solved it yet. But then, Google plays a different game. Because when we move past the hardware, some AI features truly feel jaw-dropping. Real-time voice translation is one of them. That's not just useful, that feels like stepping into the future. But just like any futuristic idea, there's always a catch. And the catch is adoption. Groundbreaking features don't matter if people barely use them. Both sounded futuristic but quietly disappeared. If translation remains niche, it risks being forgotten, no matter how mind-blowing it seems today. So will Google's boldest features stick, or will they fade away as shiny but forgotten experiments? Now, let's talk about money, Pixels are famous for one thing: fast price drops. Launch at $1,000 today, and in 6 months, it could be down by a few hundred. Great for late buyers. With Pixel 10, the story won't be any different, which raises a real dilemma: do you jump in early for the hype, or wait for the inevitable discounts? And that pricing pattern makes the Pixel 10 feel even more like an experiment. Google might be testing how far people are willing to trust AI over traditional hardware. If the gamble works, this phone could reshape what smartphones are expected to do. But if it flops, it could remind us why specs and physical performance still matter. Either way, it's a risky but fascinating move. Here's the paradox: the Pixel 10 doesn't scream revolution on the outside, but inside, it's a daring leap toward an AI-first future. Some users will call it visionary, others will dismiss it as half-baked, and maybe both are right. Because this phone feels less like a finished product and more like a blueprint, a glimpse into where Google thinks the smartphone is heading next. So now it's your choice. Do you want a phone that plays it safe with reliable hardware, or one that dares to gamble on AI rewriting the rules? That's the challenge Google has thrown on the table with the Pixel 10. Love it or hate it, one thing's certain: it's not just another smartphone. It's a bet on the future, and your reaction might decide how that future unfolds.